After nearly 10 years, we are finally getting a new Avatar series, and I'm not talking about the big blue Pandorian alien. It's been 12 years since The Legend of Korra first aired, and even longer since The Last Airbender. But after a decade of waiting, we finally have news. Unconfirmed news, but news nonetheless about the upcoming Avatar show and its new avatar, and we need to talk about it. I am Shion. This is the Pokka, and let's get into it. Now, full disclosure, none of what I'm about to say in regards to the new Avatar series is confirmed. In fact, most of it is based on leaks and speculations, but as they say, where there is smoke, there is fire. The new Avatar series will reportedly switch things up in a major way. For one, they are going away with the four-nation setup fans are accustomed to. The new series will kick off in the aftermath of a world-shattering event that will sunder the continent, going from 4 major areas to 7. What this event will be or who caused it is still up in the air, but Avatar Korra will be heavily tied to this, and if the rumors are to be believed, will be the one responsible for separating the continent.
I'm not surprised.
Now, on the surface, I love this. The four-nation structure worked really well in The Last Airbender, mostly because of what it represented. The Fire Nation were the bad guys trying to conquer everyone else. It made the political landscape of the setting very easy to understand. Red guys bad and everyone else was good. It was also a great world building tool. It helped the creators make each region distinct. The Water Tribe lived in the polar ice caps and had their own distinct color, traditions, and customs. It was the same for each of the other nations, so when you were in the Earth Kingdom, you knew it. It was also great for breaking up the story. Water came first, then Earth, and finally Fire. We explored the elements and in turn the associated nation, its people, and their cultures. This system didn't work so well in Korra. The world was a lot more diverse in The Legend of Korra. People were intermingling more, or at least that's what they tried to do. But more importantly, the writers didn't want to tell the same story twice. An avatar re-exploring the nations twice, traveling across the continent, and seeking different masters in order to learn the element was something they understandably didn't want to repeat. And so, Korra was introduced as a master of most of the elements, and her journey instead focused on other stuff. Splitting the nations like this, it allows the writers to have a more diverse and culturally fluid world and still have the new avatar travel the continent. Because I think the traveling aspect was something that really helped The Last Airbender greatly and was lost in Korra. Aang got to travel the world, he visited small villages and great cities, impacting the lives of kings and peasants alike. It's what made him feel more of an avatar than Korra, though that's just my opinion. We got to see Aang interact with the world, solving small and big problems alike. It's why in The Last Airbender, even random villagers knew who Aang was. Sure, being The Last Airbender helped, but it's also because his adventure took him places. With The Legend of Korra, Korra always felt more like a celebrity, and sure, part of that reason for that was the great shadow that Aang cast over her, both in world and to viewers.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
But I think The Legend of Korra lost a lot in keeping her very stationary. When Korra was in a place, she stayed there. It also didn't leave any room for side adventures, no saving a small town from an erupting volcano or helping a group of travelers reach Bang Sin Se. The new Avatar show has an opportunity to go back to that, to have the avatar travel the world again in the aftermath of a great catastrophe and tell a multitude of stories in that setting, both big and small, and it's something I'm personally here for. And while the changes don't stop there, the new Avatar series is going to follow an Earthbender, but we knew that already, Avatar cycle and all. What we didn't know was that it was gonna be a girl, and not just any girl, but an amputee. This isn't something new for the Avatar series. Depicting characters with disabilities is actually pretty on brand for the show. Toph was famously blind, and that was something that added to her character rather than take away from it. And Minghua, the armless waterbending fugitive, was, in my opinion at least, one of the best side villains of the show. So handling a disability is something I expect the showrunners to handle well. What I am skeptical about, however, is the rumors that we may not be getting one avatar this time around, but two twin Earthbenders who share the title and powers of the avatar. And honestly, I'm not sure how that's going to work. The obvious starting point is why. Definitely, this is going to be the first avatar to have a twin sibling. And second, how exactly is this going to work? The avatar, at least from my understanding anyway, is a soul that is constantly being reborn in different bodies through generations. Emphasis being a soul. How is that going to work across two people? And that's not even going into other aspects like, what about the avatar state? How are the bendings going to work? How is this going to impact the world as a whole? This is something I feel feel like, if true, might be a little too much for the new show. One of the things that has made the series so good was its simplicity. Simplicity, I feel, might be lost with the new show, if rumors are to be believed, that is, as they seem to be trying to juggle a lot of themes, and balance will be very important in how they handle it. The Legend of Korra failed in this regard, as the show as a whole didn't have a central theme. This was mostly due to the showrunners introducing many new things in the show, but not taking it far enough. They tried, and failed in my opinion, to balance the more spiritual side of the Avatar with the punchier side of the Avatar, and anyone who has watched the show will know the punchy side won, which is a shame because The Legend of Korra asked some really mature and thoughtful questions as a show, and then proceeded to answer those questions with a fireball to the face. A pitfall I will hate the new show to replicate. There's a lot to like with the directions the new show is teasing, but there's also a lot to be skeptical about. A lot is going to change, and if rumors are to be believed, the show is deviating from a lot of established canon, but whether that is good or bad remains to be seen. But until then, this is Sean. You are watching the Pokka, and if you like this video, do make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.